Hello and welcome to my presentation. Today I'll be going over the problem with studying American crows and the Corvidae group as a whole. I'll be going over the most popular and most successful methods and techniques, comparing their pros and cons. And then at the end of this presentation, I will be suggesting some recommendations for these methods. So firstly, the problem with studying American crows in the Corvidae family as a whole lies within their advanced cognitive function. This allows them to have increased learning capabilities and they have a very high general intelligence. Crows are also very neophobic. They don't like new foods and they have an overall weary and cautious nature. As with all animal capture studies, we have to ensure animal safety is key and also that the method efficiency is good for our research question. The first method is the Australian crow trap or the ladder trap, which is like a large gregarious style cage trap that attracts birds via bait and is accessible via the top through these ladder openings, which allows the birds to get in with their wings closed, but they cannot escape as they need to open their wings to fly out. Some of the advantages to using this is that it's been reported as highly successful, which is with one of the highest corvid capture rates across different habitat species and different studies, with an overall larger capture yield compared to Larson, walking cage traps, and obviously net guns and cannons. Some of the disadvantages with the Australian crow trap is that it's large and difficult to transport and set up. There's a potential risk for group stress and harms if too many individuals are captured and they get riled up and start panicking. The next method is a Larson trap, which is a form of a cage trap that contains a separate compartment for a decoy bird, which is seen as an intruder in the corvid territory, and another compartment with bait to trap the target species. The bird will be able to enter and perch inside of the cage, but it will not be allowed to escape back. Some of the advantages to this method include very low odds of capturing non-target species. So this is very good for capturing that corvid, crow target species that you want. And is very highly effective for territorial breeders, especially during the nesting season, as crows are very intolerant of invading birds within their territory. Some of the cons for the Larson trap involve it being a smaller trap, so you could only capture really 1 to 2 birds at a time, and is also reported to have somewhat low capture rates for both target and non-target species. The next method or technique would be a net gun, which is a specialized gun that launches a net towards and above the target species. Some of the advantages towards this is that it's very mobile and portable. It's not constrained to one specific location, and it allows for choice of capture, meaning uh, you can single out individuals if you have a certain member of the population that you would like to capture. However, some of the cons is that it only allows for one opportunity of capture. You only have one chance to capture the individual that you are seeking. Next is the net cannon, which is a stationary version of the net gun. It's a deployable launcher that shoots above the target species, which is very effective for capturing multiple individuals that are congregating in an area. However, as with the gun, it's a foreign object. The crows are going to be very wary about this object, so their trust and comfortability is needed to operate this device. The cannon has to be cleaned after each use. There's use of explosives for firing, and as with the gun, there's only one opportunity for capture. Some of my recommendations would be modifying the Australian crow trap or the ladder trap per your research topic and target species, as you can see a higher yield when capturing species and doing research, or you can target out certain individuals of the region. With the net guns, Caffrey's study went into further detail about getting crows comfortable with the net gun, as the large foreign device would cause them to be even more weary. But he detailed after a few days that the net gun was no issue being brought into the environment and it ended up being somewhat successful. Here's some of the literature cited that go into further detail, backing up all of the claims made with each of the methods, some of the pros and cons. These papers go into further and more detail into each of the topics. I just wanted to thank you all for viewing and sitting through this presentation and hearing me out about the problem with capturing crows and corvids in general and how we can better this in the future going forward.